This is my stock market look ahead for the week starting February 27th through March 3rd. Same deal, all the timestamps are in the description, and we will kick this off with the indices. Alright, so starting this off with the S&P 500. Last week I was looking for just a little bit of a rebound to kind of complete this fifth. It doesn't really look like it wants to complete its fifth, so this is kind of what I'm waiting for, is this channel to break. Then I would feel comfortable start taking some shorts on the S&P 500. So it might be a little bit of a waiting week, but hopefully we'll be able to see more on individual stocks. Okay, Qs. So this one's kind of the same deal for obvious reasons. That's kind of what I would like to see just for Elliott wave completions. This is the Dixie, or the US dollar index. This one is really gaining some strength. What we're waiting on is this yellow to get broken, which is the fourth wave pivot. And then I would love for it to come back down for this B, and then I'll buy this B. So we could probably take this pivot right here as kind of like something to bounce off of, and then we're well on our way. I am positive. So this looks like a good count, and yeah, we'll just keep updating it. Hopefully we do get a little pullback eventually. Alright, XLK is leaving. This is what should be a little flag that's being left here if it does break. So obviously I would like it to break this box and this resistance or this support and then have it pop back down. I am expecting its C wave, or the fourth, to be pulled back to here. It's not an exact area. I would just like it somewhere around this support. And so a couple of the trades this week I'm looking at are in technology. Apple, I do have it bouncing a little bit. I'm not really liking this anymore because of these hammers right here that were just formed. So I would be looking for it to kind of pull back through it and kind of break. So your ABC looks like it's done. It could obviously just keep coming, but this could be your B, which your B would then drop back down here, or this could be your 1, your 2, or your obviously ABC, which would drop back down to here before it would go up. But if it starts leaving a whole lot of sell pressure in here, it doesn't have a whole lot to fall through. So Microsoft is a little bit easier of a read. Shorts, we're on up here. Obviously it's responding pretty nicely. There's not a whole lot keeping it up, so I am to the downside for quite some time. So Nvidia is going to be a big one this week because it did finally pop into my area. I thought it wouldn't, but we do have our 1 2 3 4 5 completed Elliott wave, or completed impulse wave, and now we're looking for another 1 2 3 4 5 to the downside. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I am shorting off of this area. I know it got good earnings, but there's a lot of room to take profit, so it's worth the risk. Alright, moving on to healthcare. Healthcare is falling pretty nicely, so this is what we expect, is it to drop back down to this channel. Whether or not it goes through it, we're not sure at the moment. We'll need some more confirmation of candles before it goes through. A lot of shorts in healthcare, so let's open this one up and look at some of the stocks inside of it. The first one is UNH. This one's kind of a high risk immediate short, so I'm shorting now. It's still in my little area, so this one I am expecting it to drop down here. Whether or not it goes through these two supports is to be seen. Obviously I would like it to come down, maybe show a flag to get through the pivots and then drop, but this one is immediately negative. Pfizer showing a lot of sell pressure. I would have liked to see a little pop back up to this resistance right here and then taking a trade off of these hammers, but it is showing a lot of weakness on the weekly. It does have consolidation candles, which is nice before it goes through a pivot. So if it does break this pivot, I'm bearish for quite some time. Okay, and this is ABBV. I'm not sure what that is, but this one I do have up. So this one's kind of throwing off the whole index count, where we have a flag to the bull side. It hasn't broken anything, so nothing's been confirmed. This one is high risk. I would expect it to just kind of drop up. If it doesn't break this pivot, then it can kind of ricochet around and we'd still be in this fourth wave range. But if it does, then it would be kind of more exciting and we'd see how it broke these pivots. All right, this is MRK. This one is also, I have it going up. Obviously this is my area. I'm not in a trade on this just because it's extremely high right now. I'm waiting for some sell pressure to show, and just so I can get a better count on it. I would imagine that this would be your fifth, but again, I have this one going up, not doing anything trading wise. Okay, and this is LLY. This one I have going sideways, but favoring the downside. So this one I'm expecting fourth wave to be shown. There's a lot of sell pressure on the weekly and the daily. So I would take shorts at really any point coming on through here, expecting like just your ABC kind of retracement. So this one will make my trade list just because I love this weekly area. All right, finance is still a favored index. It has completed its C. It can still come up just a little bit just to match the length of the A, but a lot of the stocks are showing immediate downside. Some of them are showing a little bit up and then coming back down, but let me explain. So this is Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway, I had it popping just a smidgen and then coming back down. It is making a ton of selling pressure, so it could just drop. So it would be like that, break these two things of resistance. We'll make this white as a separate count, or let's do red as a separate count. So it drops, breaks the two supports, comes back up, and then blasts away on continuing with this. These are kind of my two areas. Obviously, if it pops up, I'll have to do a recount, but I am super biased on finance going down as a whole. So this is just what I'm favoring right now. Okay, American Express, or AXP. This one is kind of I am doing an immediate position on this. I really like this area and the fact that we have nothing really holding this up. So I am, as soon as it pops through here, maybe a little pullback and then it comes back down, but I would like to see it just drop right out of here. Okay, this is Bank of America. So the last time I looked at this, I did get stopped out here, which is kind of a bummer because it did kind of go the way I wanted, but I'd rather be out than taking a huge loss. So this is kind of what it could be, a truncated E, and this is a pretty regular count. After an E, it would continue with its regular trend, which is to the downside. I would just like to see it get beyond this. I would like to see it get beyond this triangle. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Maybe you could get a little pop up and then a drop down, just so that you can get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and obviously get out on the third. This one is pretty correlated with American Express. Probably going to leave this one alone just because American Express is such a cleaner count, but I still like this setup, just not taking it. Morgan Stanley is pretty much the exact same as American Express. A lot of selling pressure. So I just want to show this to kind of prove majority of finance is showing a ton of selling. So this is State Street. This is one of those that is a little bit confusing just because, so C waves are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. So I mean, you can kind of count this wherever, but I like it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be my C count, especially since the A kind of left a nice little count. The B has a nice count, and then I would imagine the C would get one. It did drop quite a bit. I don't know if it can come all the way back up and then come back down, but this is kind of what is reflecting on the FLX, where it just needs to pop just a little bit higher and then come back down. All right, and this is energy. So this is my count that I still really like it, where it is possible that it can go to the upside. I'll show you in a second. A lot of selling pressure. So this might be done where you do have your truncated fifth, pretty much. Not truncated, just super small. So just to kind of get this count clear, it would be, so your fifth would be done here, and then you would be looking for your retracement, which would be your A, and then your B, and then your C. So in your A, it's be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And then your 3 would be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can definitely be like this. I just want to get this count out there. We are battling two different counts. Both of them are valid right now until it digs on this 3. But I will show you some of the stocks of why I think it could be going on to this A retracement over going up to the 5th. All right, so this is Oxy. This one is the sell pressure that I'm looking at right here is this nice little flag, which will probably break your pivot down here. And if it does, we'd be expecting just a little pop back up and then it to come back down. But that is a ton of selling pressure, so I don't really like it going any higher. So your count would look like this. You'd have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and you're done. This would be the same as the index XLE. Just want to be aware of this. No trades are going on just because I need a confirmation of a broken pivot. Okay, DVN, this is the 3 week. This is the exact same count, the exact same pattern, except you have a truncated fifth, which makes a double top. Okay, so just a heads up, this one is ready to go as well. It is a nicer formation, so I probably will drop a trade on this one if I get a little bit of a pop back up just to catch this third. All right, so this is Halliburton. This, again, it's got this nice little double top, but the selling pressure is on the daily. So these are the flags that I'm talking about, and this is the pivot that I'm looking for it to break. So this one, I really like the setup. Probably will put a position on it. It is higher risk since it hasn't broken. Okay, and this one is OKE. This one kind of throws a wrench into the whole thing, where this one has buying pressure. So until this pivot is broken right here, until it goes through that, where it's a little bit of confirmation, I won't be taking any shorts on it just because my favor would go up like that, just to respect these flags. Whether or not that happens is to be determined, but that's why I'm not getting rid of that fifth wave count on the XLE, just to go a little bit higher and then come back down. This is APA. This one is already showing selling pressure and has a nice little flag. Probably not position ready. This one did break the pivots, so this one is valid selling pressure. Okay, Chevron. So Chevron, I really like this flag. It did break the pivot. This one I am dropping a trade on, and I would assume this is your fifth with your double top. So I do like to the downside. Ideally, this would be your 1, your 2, and then 3 would be the one that's riding through this, fully correcting the fourth wave. So EOG, if we look at the 3 week, this is the exact count that I'm talking about. Is all these hammers are super nice. So I have would be my entry, but if this one does go, the fourth wave isn't that far away. So you'd kind of be like that, which means if you're correcting to your fourth wave, it's not that far away, but I mean, there still is a move, but since this area is so huge, it probably isn't worth putting a trade on. That's why I'm favoring the CVX and HAL. All right, and so this is XLU, the utilities sector. This one is following pretty nicely, leaving these flags hanging around. So we will jump in and look for immediate shorts. The first one is NEE, which just left this huge flag right here. Now, ideally, this would break the pivot. So it looks something like this. It would break, and then it would come back up to grab us. And we could probably go to the pivot just to make sure. And then it would go like that. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Count-wise, it's really hard. As you can see, it's just absolute spaghetti right here. So that's why this pivot is so important, because if it can break and break again, then I would say we're in a bear market for an extremely long time. Obviously, I can't call that far out, so I am expecting this range. Just as soon as it breaks this, comes back up, grabs us, and then we take it down for maybe like 2 to 1. All right, this is XL. This is where I have a trade on. So I'm already in this one, riding it down just because it has this nice flag, expecting this to be a C wave, so an impulse. So this should be your 3 right here, and then it'll be a little bit of a 4th and then a 5th. This is your 4th wave down here, is this pivot. So there's a ton of room to run. That's why I'm favoring this one over NEE, but both of them confirm a downward bias on the utilities. Okay, and this is SO, or the Southern Company. Again, it has a nice little count of an ABC. This would be your C wave. This would be your 2. So right here is your A, B, C, 1, 2, and then 3. So that's what we're trying to ride down. I like the XL one a lot better, mainly because we don't have a break of anything. So all of these are risky. I just want to show the selling pressure. So this is the XLY. I am going to leave this one alone for a little bit just because this is its pullback. So either we can get a confirmation that it broke the 5th, which means we are going down, or we need a confirmation of it going back up to complete this C to go to this 4th. I'm not really taking any trades on these. Everything kind of in this sector is a little bit scrambled right now, so there's no definitive direction. XLI, again, I'm just waiting a little bit just to figure out what this is. Is this a 4th and then it's going to 5th, or is this going to come back around? I am waiting. The stocks inside this are kind of showing a mixed bag, just like the XLY, so I'm going to leave this one alone. XLB, exact same pattern, exact same play. So just kind of waiting to see what it does. Need to complete a higher C, and then before I would feel comfortable that it's like, okay, we're turning back around. All right, and so this is XLP. So this is high risk, but I do love these flags. So I broke this one down, and these are where I found probably all of my trades this week. I will go over a few just to kind of explain. So Procter & Gamble, it is breaking these areas of support. So it's coming down pretty hard, which is nice. Not really a setup for any trades, just want to show that it is breaking supports. Coca-Cola setting up for a huge flag right here. M counting on this C. So definitely keep an eye on this one. This is General Mills. Just want to show it had a nice little pop for some reason, but it popped into one of these flag areas. So there's nothing to take a trade on. Just be careful that it could be working on its retracement. So Monster throws a wrench in the whole party. This one can't take a trade on it, but I am looking for that fifth to pop up here. So it has all this support under it until these things are done. No selling can happen. All right, so Bitcoin's update. The count is getting a little bit hard. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I would say is up there. It can go, like we can be working on this. So it's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can do that up to your fifth, and that would still be valid. So you just have an extended fifth wave, or it can be done, which I don't really like. I think it's a little bit too soon for it to be pulling back. I would have liked to see it kind of blow through this. I am still favoring the upside. However, it would be doing its this ABC, except sooner. So maybe you drop back down to the 19,000s for its ABC, and then it goes up, and so it just condenses this ABC. Look like this. You got your ABC, something like that, and then that would be your 2, and then you'd be ready to rock it for that 3, which would be sweet. But yeah, negative on this one, but positive in the long run. Not really taking any trades until I know what count is forming.